What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your grateful host, Cam Williamson. And today we are taking a break from the trending topics of the world because I could not care any less. There's not a lot going on. A bunch of sports stuff. It's all good if you follow sports. I really don't. The UFC went down this weekend, 273. I watched most of that. I didn't catch the main card because I just didn't care that much to stay awake for it. So, yeah, we're going to talk today about reclaiming respect for yourself. On the Road to Redemption podcast for a long time, I've talked about all the mistakes I've made and how I've hurt people and all my remorse for that. What I was failing to do for a long time was move on from all those things. And I had to learn that in order to really move on in life, you have to find a way to respect yourself again. Now, that comes with a lot of soul searching, a lot of time by yourself, and a lot of moving past things that you thought were never possible to move past, right? So for people who have a hard time feeling like they respect themselves, and oftentimes you even start realizing you feel that way because you notice that everyone around you doesn't seem to respect you. When you speak, they don't listen. If you try to talk, they interrupt you. Stuff like that. When you try to put your input in as to how you would like your life to look, people shut it down for one reason or the other, whether it be their religious beliefs, the way they think the world should look, whatever. All this stuff is disguised and hidden often as love, as, being a good spiritual person. When really, when you look at everything at the end of the day, we've created a bunch of systems and belief systems that are built up to control people, right? So in the Christian belief, there's all kinds of rules that tell you how to structure your life and able to be a good person in the eyes of the church. Okay, fine. And then you have spiritual people who don't really subscribe to the modern day ways of religion, but some of those beliefs are still tied in there, and they do things that would be deemed as like completely against the church, but yet they still hold love and compassion for others, and they just really strip away the judgment away from who are people, what are people. And if you can just look at that, you can see that all human beings are flawed. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. We hear this from the time that we're young, but maybe it's just how you grew up and the support system that you grew up in that dictates how you can respond to times when you make mistakes. But I think it's so important that we start to teach people in today's world where everybody wants to point out each other's flaws instead of what makes each other good, is yes, it's important to acknowledge when you've done wrong. It is. But it's also important to acknowledge that you're not the only person that's ever done wrong, and you're not the only person that's done what you did, and you're not the only person that, you don't deserve to be cast away forever because you've made a couple mistakes in life. Now, here's where we get in real trouble with this. You make a few mistakes, you try to rebound, and the influences in your life oftentimes, or even if you kind of get to a place where you have nobody, where you have nobody but the voices in your head of your upbringing and the systems that you grew up in, and you make decisions to go, okay, I'm going to be a better person. I've tried things my way for a long time, and they didn't really work out, and nothing went to the way I planned it, so let me try to be this idea of a better person, a good person. And then oftentimes I think that's where we find, modern day, everyday people. They get up and they go to work and they feed their kids before they go to school, and they come home and they help them with the homework, and they do the family routine. They go to bed and they do it all over again, and they convince themselves, now I'm a good person, right? My parents aren't bitching at me. I don't have anyone crawling down my neck. Law's not looking for me, whatever. But then we find that there's this deadness inside, that is a part of us isn't really fulfilled, and we go, okay, I must just be a bad person. I must just want more than what I deserve. Well, everything in my life has told me that. So maybe this grandiose thinking that I have that I deserve more in life is meant to be enjoyed by not just myself, but everyone. But maybe because I believe that I deserve it, there is actually something wrong with me and I'm some sort of raging narcissist and fuck, let me just sleep this idea off and I'll wake up and go to work and I'll forget about this. And you slowly start to disrespect yourself and then it starts to show itself in ways like you can't even answer what you want to eat. Yo, what are you hungry for? Oh, I don't know. You need someone to tell you everything about you. Because if they don't tell you about you, then you don't know. So we've discussed what it kind of looks like to lose respect for yourself, but to gain it back takes the ability to even understand where you fell off and trying to gain back respect for yourself, which is when you try to be this picture of something that you're clearly not. Everything inside of you tells you that it's wrong. And especially for men, I can connect to this. We will do a lot of shit that we know is not meant for us because we feel like we should. And you can get very easily manipulated into believing that doing shit just to make a paycheck and, be around the house X amount of hours a day is sustainable and that's you being a good person, right? But you could have your own idea in your head, right? And you could have this idea that you could make X amount of dollars and spend double X amount of time with your kids. But yet that would require you shutting out every noise, every person, every thought of your own that tells you that you cannot. Respecting yourself starts with the belief that the feelings inside of you are valid, right? So when people disrespect you, you don't just hold it in because it's not polite to cause a scene, or not saying you cause a scene, but it's not, a lot of people that don't have respect for themselves have a real problem with confrontation. They don't like telling people, hey man, what did you just say to me? You said what? Are you willing to put your face on that? Because it's funny in life how easily people start to become comfortable disrespecting you. I know that when I was in the throes of my goofiness and drinking all the time and I was getting in trouble, in and out of the military, getting in trouble, and, in and out of my civilian life, getting in trouble, I just could not quit with the drinking. And it came to the point where like guys in my team and my buddies in my unit, they would make shirts on it because we would play like team sports and stuff on deployment. And mine would always say like criminal. And we would call it like the goon squad and shit. And I was like, damn, we're walking. And one day I remember ripping that shirt off. And I was like, yo, I don't want to be known as a criminal anymore. I don't want to be that guy anymore to people. All this joking about Cam's a motherfucker and I'll do all this wild stuff. Like that was cool when I was 18 to 25. That was awesome to be that guy and have the legendary stories of all the crazy shit I did. That's awesome when you're young and you care about silly shit like that. But at some point in your life, you choose to grow up and you choose to move on. It's the people that can't get out of that being the hometown hero that, oh my God, you should see what he can do. He shows up here every Friday night and by 2 a.m. he's already 14 deep and then he's doing shots with everybody. And it's like, yo, great. If that's all you aspire to be, there's a spot at the bar for you there. But something inside of you in your life probably told you that you were more than that. And then the people in your life, the systems you grew up in, and the voices inside your head became louder than the belief in yourself. And that goes from what you do for a living. What you do for a living is a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. Now, we can all take jobs and do things for a certain amount of time to get somewhere in life or to make a way for something else. I'm not knocking any hustle. Don't get me fucked up on that. What I'm saying is when you have seen a person become completely defeated by life to the point where they spend X amount of years in a job that's killing their spirit, And then they go home to an unfulfilled house and, they're just buying shit and going places on the weekends to fill time. And it's like, this is what most people are doing, because what they would really rather be doing, they don't have the belief that they are worth doing that. Right? So even if it's sitting around the house and you want to take your kids to go do something, I can connect to the thoughts of being like, they don't want to go with me. There's so many other people that are so much cooler to hang out with. Like, what the hell do they want to hang out with me for? What, so they can listen to alt rock songs from early 2000s? Like, what the fuck they want to hang out with me for? But then I remember, like, every time I hang out with my kids, they love spending time with their dad. And when I started spending more time with my kids, a couple years ago, it was, when I had my youngest, I spent every waking moment with her. And I'm like, oh, I've been told by all these people that I'm not shit. So I felt like I was not shit for my kids. But then when I show up and I'm there for them and I let them judge whether I'm shit or not, my kids love me. The people in my life love me. Everybody that, I choose to associate with in today's day and age, they all love me. So it's like, yeah, I don't have 80 million people that I could call and go to lunch with, but I have a couple that I could call and at least offer, hey man, oh, you're busy? Okay, bet. And then go confidently have lunch by myself, because I don't feel like a loser sitting in a restaurant by myself eating lunch. And back in the day, I would have just kept myself in the house, and I would have been like, well, this is what happens when you're a piece of garbage. Nobody ever wants to hang out with you, and And you start doing all the same downgrading, and you start thinking about how nobody cares about you, and you're not even important enough to whatever, and you're like, man, oh man, it's a slippery slope, this mental health game. It's a slippery slope. Now, what decisions can you make if you've actively decided it's time to start gaining some more respect for yourself? Speak up more. We all know that feeling where you're about to say something and you go and you stop because you're like, I'm not trying to start no shit right now, because if I start shit, then I got to deal with it, and I don't feel like dealing with it right now. And that is the quickest way to disrespect yourself, yo. Life is not going to be easy, especially if you're planning on building anything for yourself. There's going to be times when nobody in the world believes in what you're saying, and it's only the pure, weird feeling inside of you that will keep you going. And that has to be the pilot light for everything that you do. Every word that comes out of your mouth, every action that you take has to stem from this place that is genuinely you. If you show up in any room different than that, you are not only disrespecting yourself, but you're disrespecting every fucking person in that room, and they fucking know it. Because they wouldn't be fucking with you at all if they didn't know the best part of you. But the problem is, day to day, we shift, we change, we grow, we digress. Our needs change, our wants change, so we change for other people instead of staying to who we are. If you stayed on course to who exactly the fuck you know you are, and you didn't let anybody, no matter what label you gave them, no matter how much you care about them, no matter how much they claim that they care about you, that's a big one for people with emotional abuse and trauma and shit. People will love bomb the fuck out of you to get you to stay in a shit situation for a really long time. If you grew up in an unstable foundation where love and attention and acknowledgement was not something you're used to, people that also have that similar upbringing or know of it, they know how to manipulate it. They know how, and it's not always consciously, but they know how to love bomb people for attention and then pull it away to get people, in this weird spot in life where it's fucked up and it's toxic on every level of humanity. There should be fucking crimes against humanity for the fact that there are generations of people raised by parents who unknowingly, subconsciously brainwashed and lied to their children about the way life should look. Now, again, nobody did this shit on purpose. It was the fuck up of the human race, in America especially, that we built a system based on the more money you can acquire, the more important you are, the more valuable you are to society. That is the dumbest fucking idea we ever came up with. And then we turn that into little micro fucking organisms, schools, jobs, work industries. I always say this, during the Industrial Revolution is when we fucked ourselves, because everything came to this invisible money that we don't have to make shit that we need for wars and for all this other shit. And it was the crumble of the human being. We started taking soul-sucking jobs to pay for a fucking war that was to pay other people's pockets fatter. And we never fucking stopped. We didn't realize that sayings like history always repeats itself comes because as generations go on, people speak up about things and go, hey, if you pay attention, that's going to happen in your lifetime, your kid's lifetime, their kid's lifetime, until the sun or a fucking meteor comes and burns this mother down. People will keep taking advantage of you if you let them. Now, with all this respect that you find for yourself, all of a sudden, you're going to piss a lot of people off and you're going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. You better get okay with that before you even embark on this. I'm just telling you, be ready to lose everybody. Everybody, lottie-dottie, everybody. Because they're about to vroom. When you change up and you stop letting people steal especially your time, you don't just take their calls to listen to them bitch, and you don't just go out to eat with anybody because they're bored and now they want someone to hang out. You stop doing that. You stop taking people's bullshit advice and listening to it and doing this with the phone and going, and you stop doing all that stuff to yourself. You notice, wow, look at all this time I have. All these people that, don't like me and don't give a fuck about me are gone now. Wow, maybe I learn to skate again. Maybe I get my drum set again. Maybe I do these things, whatever it is for you, but then you're happy again. You're doing your life again. You're motherfucking living again. Hey. Yeah? And then it's fuck all to everybody that don't like it. Even if all those people go away, and you got to take 2 shitty jobs that you hate only so you can get 3 hours a week to just be doing whatever the fuck you want to do. Start there, because 3 hours a week of loving your life and building towards loving 24 hours a day is a lot fucking better than living 30 years of a life wasted. You might as well have been in fucking prison. And a lot of people put themselves in prison, and from someone who's been incarcerated, I've been in jail. I've been in the confines of having my freedom taken away. I can look at life and go, these people and everybody, we put ourselves in all these confining situations all the time that are only attempting, if you let them, to limit you. If you don't let situations limit you, they won't. If you have kids and you still choose to chase your dreams, you can. If you have kids and believe that is over now, it is. If you work at a job that you fucking hate and you believe that you don't even deserve to have that fucking job because there's people doing other jobs and you're so less than them that, I don't even deserve this one, but I fucking hate this one, so I hate myself. What kind of mentality are you speaking to yourself every goddamn day? And people do this for a lifetime. They bought a boat somewhere down the line, and they got a car that somebody liked, and they were able to post some pics on somewhere, and it looked nice. But inside, they died. Bill Burr has one of the best jokes in the world where he talks about like a house dad that's up on the ladder cleaning the gutters going, I fucking hate my life. I'm just up here to get some peace and quiet, He's like, I'd just rather tie this thing around my neck and jump. But it's like, that was a joke because we watched people's dads live that way. I showed up to many a friend's house. It's like, you don't talk to pops. You don't talk, Especially on the weekend. Mom's got him doing all this shit, and the second he's not doing that, he's drinking beer, watching football, you leave him the fuck alone. Because if you don't, he's going to pop off. He wants 5 goddamn seconds to himself to escape into a game that he's not a part of, never played for probably, other than being born in the hometown. And then you got the real fucking spicy dudes that like the rival team from the hometown they live in, goofies. But they invest themselves into these teams so that they can go, oh, fucking yeah, about something again. Because for a second, they can remember what it was like to be 10 years old on the playground with their buddies beating the fuck out of each other because somebody was a pass interception. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was. A fucking... Come on, y'all. Like, that's life. We forget, man. Like, I watch my kids live life, and I watch a world that tries to stop them from doing that. Everybody's telling them, no, don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. You should be doing this. You should be that. Fuck all that, man. They're 3 years old. She shouldn't be doing nothing but enjoying almost every second of her life within reason. This is where I grow through my kids because I watch and I go, damn, if I just let you eat suckers and candy and shit all the time, you're going to have diabetes by the time you're 6. So it's like I have to chill. I have to make you understand that, like, your body is something to take care of. Wow, nobody taught me that. They taught me your body's a vessel, don't get tattoos on it, but nobody said, like, hey, bitch, drink water, eat vegetables. Like, sure, school tells you that, but I wasn't paying attention to school. I needed someone to tell me, like, yo, cholesterol's a thing. Fucking, yo, chill with all the salt and all this stuff that you can't eat fucking flaming hot everything for 10 years, and you can't live on ramen noodles, dog. Like, you're gonna die. And here's a hard thing that I learned about myself. And I had to face this last weekend, really. I don't know why, but I woke up the other night at like midnight, and I just couldn't sleep. And I had this thought in my head that wouldn't go away that was like, damn, dog, we never planned to be here at 30. When I was 16, 18, 21, I thought for sure my ticket would be punched by 25. Then I made it to 25. That was pivotal for me because I got out of trouble. I'd finally got, turned my life around. I got remarried to, a great woman. Everything is good. And then I fuck it up again. And I remember going, oh, I was so scared of what a life looked like, of trying to live my life unapologetically, that I actively and sometimes did try to commit suicide, but was actively doing things to put myself out of business before my time. Because I didn't respect myself that much. I had let what other people said and thought about me, and my belief of life was that I deserved nothing and the world was out to get me. And I can just tell you, nothing gets done that way. You're not serving yourself at all. Nobody's coming to save you from that. They can't. When you hate yourself that much, there's no love bombing. There's no anything anyone in the world can say or do. There's no attention you can get. You can get 100 million followers. If you don't give a fuck about you, there's nobody in the world that's going to be able to. Because nobody really knows you. And I know some of this is awful cliche, but it's like, man, sometimes you got to hear it in a different way to make it fucking stick in your head. A lot of our heads are dense. The motherfuckers get thick. And to get shit in, I know me, I got to fuck up a few times. Because I'm the type of person that will go, I fucked that up. Let me try again. Fuck, I fucked that up. Let me do this little adjustment. All right, get back in there. And then sometimes you have to go, damn, I'm just not supposed to be in that game. Like with drinking. And you could beat yourself up about it. You could sit around and go, fuck, I'm less of a person, less of a man, can't control myself. It's like, yo, some shit's just not for me. Country music, not really for me. Now, this new Morgan Wallen song that I found, the Flower Shop song, that motherfucker bangs. Morgan Wallen's got something there. I don't know anything about his news history, but like it's you got to open yourself up again. You got to be willing to experience life again, not be afraid that you might step on somebody's toes by being in a room and taking up the space you take. And then just by doing that in little ways, say what you want for breakfast, say what you want for lunch. If you're hungry in the middle of the day, grab a snack. If you know you should be taking a break from snacks and shit to get your fucking heart game together and drink water, man, do that shit for you. But do it intentionally. Make every decision. I'm making the right decision for me right now, or I'm fucking off because I want to. Because I decided that I'm gonna. And I'm willing to pay for whatever that is. This life is short. I could die tomorrow, or I could live another 50 years. And it's finding the balance of how to ebb and flow between those energies of, fuck it, I'm only here for once, you know. I'd rather burn out than fade away. Let's do this shit. R.I.P. Kurt Cobain. I'm so tired of watching. I swear to God, you can almost see it now. Like, I remember watching people were so full of life walking around. And after this pandemic, man, you watching, it's soulless bodies, gray-skinned motherfuckers walking around just trying to get to death. Because that's the only fucking hope that people have anymore is like, God damn it, what is going to end this shit? An asteroid, a sickness. Yo, stop all this shit. Because it never seems to stop. And that's what life is. It's navigating what are you going to do while you're here? Not what you think you're going to do. Not what you told somebody. Not what video you put out that said you're going to do this. What are you going to do with the time you have? Because at one moment, that time's going to shut the fuck off and you're going to have no more of it that we know of. I hope we all go to a parallel universe and we get another shot in every situation you wish you got to redo. I hope that's the case, but I don't fucking know, so I'm not going to claim that it is. I'm telling you, I know that if you're listening to this, you have a chance to fix your shit now. Talk to people. Make shit right. Do the hobbies you want to do. Learn some shit. Be bad at it. Get better and be one of the best. You can do that shit. And that's just me being 1,000% honest with you. I know, because I've been the guy who thought I was not fucking nothing, that nobody ever wanted to hear from because nobody ever called my phone. Nobody wanted to hear from me because I was a fuck up. And I had to go away for a while. I had to figure myself out, and I had to figure out, okay, there's a lot of dark shit that I've done, and there's a lot of good in me, and there's a medley of those two that constantly live inside of me. Now, what the fuck am I going to do with that? Because it ain't going nowhere, right? You are who you are. We spend a lot of our time trying to repress who we are to please other people. You are exactly who the fuck you are now. Who you were yesterday, who you're going to be tomorrow. You better make peace with that shit right now. Figure it out. Good and bad. Who are you? What are you capable of? What are you willing to do? What are you not willing to do? Make peace with it and get the fuck over it. Stop putting labels on it. I'm bad because I'm doing this and I'm good because I'm doing that. You're not nothing but nothing. Be you and just be that. That's called standing in your fucking self, taking up some space where you deserve to take it up. Divine timing will put you where you need to be, with who you need to be there, and handle all that. But it's not going to happen if you're walking around faking everything. Being Mr. Happy Jolly around people you don't even fuck with. Stop it. Stop disrespecting yourself. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Guys, check out the Road to Redemption podcast.com. We got all kinds of new graphics coming out. Got a new one that I'll be previewing this week. Stay tuned to the Instagram. Stay tuned to the TikTok. You guys won't want to miss this one. It's a good one. I love you. Thumbs up if you made it all the way to the end of this rant video. Subscribe. Hit the bell. I'm out of here.